Hello there, my dear friends. It's Kit Bombing here. Thank you for joining me on this brand new festive themed video. Let's join me for story time to learn and listen upon the Christmas spirit as we feel a magical, charitable holiday tradition between our friends and family from over the world. First of all, I have a nice, astonishing, festive book I'm going to read to you. This is called The Night I Met Father Christmas, illustrated by Elisa Pagan Nelly. The festive blockbuster from Ben Miller. It seems like a very astonishing and lavishly festive children's storybook, as you never heard of it before, but I have decided I'm going to read that book to you. When I go read that book, I'm going to read by words, and also I'm going to show there's illustrated pictures from each page. Ladies and gentlemen, would you care to join me for story time on a festive season? Perfect! Sit back, relax, and enjoy. It was 1:45 on Christmas Eve. The lights were out all over the land, and children everywhere were asleep in their beds, dreaming of a big day to come. Well, almost everywhere. Jackson was awake, and however tired he felt, however heavy his eyelids, he was going to stay awake until the Father Christmas came. The clock struck 12. First, there was the sound of a bell in the sky. Then, from a roof, came a loud bang. The whole ceiling shook. Jackson raced down the stairs and burst into the front room. Soot and ash were falling from a chimney. An echoey sound drifted down. Then, with a sudden whoosh, a tiny figure dropped into the fireplace. "Oh," said Jackson. "Ugh," said the elf, stamping backwards in surprise. I was rubbing his ankle. "I think you have twisted it." "You're Father Christmas," said Jackson, "but you're an elf." "Father Christmas? No, I am Chimney Inspector. Come to expect you, Chimney, and it's fine, so I'll be off now, thank you." The elf tried to walk away, but winced in pain. Jackson raced to the freezer to fetch him a bag of frozen peas. Jackson helped the elf into the chair and passed him the peas. "You're Father Christmas," he said again, more firmly. "Your sleigh just landed on the roof. That's all your sack of presents?" "Okay, you got me," he chuckled. "You must be Jackson. Nice to meet you." "And this must be Rabbit," said Jackson. Father Christmas smiled. "You know, Rabbit was the first present I ever gave you, when you were just a baby." "Thank you. I love Rabbit," said Jackson solemnly. "Well, I suppose be better be on my way," Father Christmas said. But as he stood to leave, oh dear, if I can't walk, how will I deliver my presents?" Jackson thought for the moment. "Maybe I can help," he said. "Maybe I can carry you." It wasn't easy, Jackson, how to carry Father Christmas and a sack of presents. But at last they managed to get onto the roof. There were 9 enormous reindeer were waiting. Reindeer eyed Jackson suspiciously. "This is Jackson," said Father Christmas, giving Rudolph a pat. "He's helping me on the rounds tonight." Jackson waved nervously. Everybody ready? Said Father Christmas, taking up the reins. Yeah! The reindeer took off at the alarming pace, heading straight for the trees at the dead end of the road. Jackson couldn't look. When he opened his eyes again, they were flying. Soon they were over the city. The lights below were as sparkly as the stars above. Yeah, said Father Christmas, urging the reindeer over the Big Ben. Beneath them, the clock struck the hour with a single chime. Do you really travel all around the world in one night? Asked Jackson. How else would I deliver all the presents? Said Father Christmas. Ah, here we are, France. But how? We're in England just a second ago. Elfish super speed? Of course. Elves have ability to move very, very quickly, and so does this sleigh when I'm in it. The next bit went by in the blur of the rooftops and chimneys, front rooms and fireplaces, stockings and Christmas trees. What happened? Said Jackson. He was feeling rather dizzy. Super speed, remember? Don't worry, it might take a while for your brain to get used to it. Soon the sleigh was landing on the white sandy beach lined with palm trees. What they see us? Whispered Jackson, noticing a group of friends cooking over the fireplace. Father Christmas waved a hand dismissively. Have you ever seen the wind? Of course you haven't. It's invincible. All you see is the swaying of the trees after the wind has blown through. Is the same with elves. Too fast. Now, said the Father Christmas, we've got one more final stop to the South Pole, please, Rudolph. Not usually on the route, but the scientist working there has just had a baby and think we have just enough magic to make it there and hum again. Yeah, he cried. The sleigh climbed up and over the mountain, then walked down the other side like a roller coaster. Woohoo! Shouted Jackson, grinning. They landed with a bump. As they stomp through the snow, Father Christmas was explaining how he used the rest of his magic on his Christmas present sack, so it was never full or too heavy. When Jackson stopped dead in his tracks. The sack, he cried. We left it on the sleigh. From up ahead, they heard a wail of a baby. Oh dear, sighed Father Christmas. We can't go back now. We're already nearly out of time and have used almost all my magic. I suppose she won't get anything this year. We'd better wait, said Jackson. Merry Christmas, Jackson whispered, as he gently tucked Rabbit into the baby's crib. Father Christmas wiped a tear from his eye. You're a good boy, he said. That's a wrap. Father Christmas stuttered a yawn as they climbed back into the sleigh. Time to get you home, Jackson had to admit. He was a little tired now too. He grew quiet as the sleigh carried on his journey. Upwards and eastwards, please, Rudolph, said Father Christmas softly. But Jackson didn't hear. He stared out into the blackness of the night sky. and barely seemed to notice a steamy cities and silent sundomes, the spinning mountains, and a snowy mountain forest that passed below. He hugged himself as he didn't have Rabbit to hug anymore. The next thing he knew, he was landing with a bump back in his own fireplace. Father Christmas rubbed his ankle, wriggled it about a bit, and stood. "There," he said. "Getting better already. Thank you, Jackson. I couldn't do it without you now," said Father Christmas, reaching into his almost empty sack. "Just one last present, yours." Justin looked down at it, wondering what I was and what to say. He didn't want to say goodbye. "Thank you," instead. "I never forget the night I met." But when he looked up, he was back in his room. The curtains were swaying like a wind had just blown enough, and Father Christmas was gone. Well, almost gone. Well then, ladies and gentlemen, to conclude this story of The Night I Met Father Christmas, it's about the young boy named Jackson when Father Christmas was struggling to deliver his presents to the children from the city of England and around the world. I think this illustrated story, it seems very enjoyable, fun, magically festive story he ever told. Thank you so much for watching this new Christmas themed story video. I hope you enjoyed so far, guys, and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and thank you for stopping by.